people would feel that school uniforms take away the students' personal rights on what they can choose to wear. From my personal experience, I have strong feelings about making school uniforms mandatory to wear. I graduated high school only 5 months ago, and every day of high school I felt as though I was watching a fashion show go down through the hallway. Girls and boys in my high school were judged by what they wore. Growing up in a wealthy community, I noticed that most of the girls, and some of the boys, tried to make other students jealous by wearing expensive clothing. Furthermore, there was a constant competition in high school of what kind of clothing was worn by whom. Every morning was a hassle for me to pick out what to wear. The reason for this was because I feared being judged by what I was wearing. I felt as though I was judged by what was on the outside instead of my personality. School uniforms provide equality for all students. Public schools where there is violence and adopted the school uniform dress code noticed a decrease in violence. Now that you know a little bit about school uniforms and how they can help students feel equal at school, you have to understand that there is a need for students to wear school uniforms. Students who go to school where there is a mandatory dress code feel less stressed in the morning because they are not picking out an outfit to wear to school. Students judge other students by what they wear rather than what really matters, which is what's on the outside, someone's personality. By wearing school uniforms, students feel equal to their peers. Uniforms show students that we are all alike in some ways. According to Patty English, who wrote an article on school uniforms, stated that school uniforms can reduce gang fights and even bullying that results from picking on other students. Uniforms also allow students to focus on schoolwork in the classroom without being distracted by material items. School uniforms also teach students that in the professional world, there are dress codes and a certain way to dress at work or in a professional setting. Violence can also decrease. Who wouldn't want crime and violence to go down in a public school? Just by making school uniforms mandatory, school violence will go down. Each year, 3 billion young people in the United States fall victim to crimes at school. Almost 2 million of these incidents involve violence. According to the article written by Education Week, there was an overall 51% drop in physical fights with schools who adopted the idea of all students wearing school uniforms. Now that we have established that violence is a major concern in public schools and that there is a need for students to fit in at school by what they wear, we need to discuss and review a solution to this problem. Enforcing rules making school uniforms mandatory to wear would help students to see each other as equals in a school environment. It would also help provide a good and safe learning environment for all students. This dress code teaches students important career lessons. Students will learn that a dress code is usually enforced in every work area. School uniforms also teaches students that people should be judged by what's on the inside rather than what they wear on the outside. Enforced school uniforms decreases violence. This includes a significant drop in gang rituals. During this time in history, violence is a major issue in public schools, especially in low-income cities. School uniforms will benefit not only low-income public schools, but schools across the country. It would help out the issue of teen violence in school. If violence is no longer an issue at school, students would be more interested in learning. Standardized test scores could possibly improve as well. According to Pauline Wallen, who is a doctor, did some personal research on school uniforms and wrote an article called "Do School Uniforms Really Make a Difference?" She stated that a few schools who adopted this idea did show moderate improvements in test scores and behavior. Another major issue that is important to discuss while talking about school uniforms is the cost. How exactly will schools afford these extra expenses? One way is by fundraisers. If fundraisers are not enough for schools, they will have to ask parents to provide the money for school uniforms. Uniforms will eliminate all clothing costs. This means that parents will be able to save money and spend money on things rather than buying clothes for their children to wear to school. When parents first think about how they will have to pay for school uniforms, they don't realize that they are more likely to save money on shopping for new clothes for school. Uniforms will also help eliminate social pressures. Imagine public schools across America with lower crime rates. Furthermore, a decrease in violence and a better learning atmosphere for every student. School uniforms will eliminate the discrimination against other students' clothing. There are several ways you can support school uniforms in public schools. Go to the next board meeting and introduce to other people the idea of having school uniforms. Include the benefits of school uniforms by adding statistics. Another way is to write a letter to your local newspaper about benefits of what a school uniform would have on its students in the public school in your area. I ask you today to take action and support all organizations that want to make uniforms mandatory in all public schools in the United States. Thank you.